Ba, Sin, Meem. There you go. Alif, Allah, and then Ar-Rahman. So, hold on a second. Ar-Rahman. Ha, move that over to the side. Ha, Meem, Noon. Actually, let me make that a little bit more noon-like. Ar-Rahman, and then Alif, Ar-Rahim. We've got that. Boom. So we've got the skeleton. Now let's do the dots. Now I'm selecting blue on the iPad here, but in fact it is actually red because I've inverted the color so we can get this whole transparency thing going. So we start with, let's see, that might be a little too thin. Yeah, this is actually really thin. I'm wondering, maybe it's not this app. Maybe there's a different app that will allow me to change the thickness of different features. So let me go ahead with this. So we have ba, and then Bismi, Allahi, Ar-Rahmani. Is there going to be a dot here? Sure. Ar-Rahmani, Ar-Rahimi. There we go. Now we can move on into the Fatha, Dhamma, and Kasra. I'm going to go ahead and use a straight line. So, Ba Kasra Bi, Mim Kasra Mi, Lam Fatha La, Ha Kasra Hi, Ar-Rahman. So there's a Fatha on the Ha, and then Noon. And then we've got Ar-Rahimi. So Fatha on the Ra, Kasra on the Ha, Kasra on the Mim. And then let's go to green, or rather yellow for all of our little connects here. Well, actually in this case it'll be purple, probably with green. So Bismi. So you've got that. Bismi, and then we got the shaddah. Bismi, Allahi, and then the shaddah on the Ra. Ar-Rahmani, and the sukoon on the Ha. Then we have the shadda on the Ra. And then we have, that's it. So now we go on to our mudud. And we have Bismi, Allahi, Ar-Rahmani. So there's a Alif on the Meem. And then Ar-Rahimi. That's it. Now we can do our, well, we did the red, we did the blue. I'm not running out of colors here. Is there a different color I can pick? Let's see. Let's go with purple. Come on. Okay, let's go with purple. And then now with purple, we're going to do our different symbols. So we have the fish head on the Alif for Allah, and we have a fish head on the Alif for Ar-Rahman, and we have a fish head on the Alif for, let me do that better, on the Alif for Ar-Rahim. So if we put that all together, we get Bismillah ar-Rahman, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I was going to say it, Bismillahi ar-Rahman. So Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahimi together. Bismillah. So if I put that all together here, let's do that. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And that right here is a sample test and showcase of the iPad writing methodology. And from here, I can do all sorts of fun stuff. So that was blue. So if I were to take the green and I were to circle this whole thing as such, bam, I get some nice colors. I'm enjoying this. This would be a lot of fun. I just need to know if there's different options with relation to, like, I guess, like the width of the chisel is actually a little too much for my taste. If we were to write the whole thing again with just regular, the regular pen, and I were to follow the same thing, Ba, Sin, it's hard to get good handwriting without it being placed on something particular. Because I'm holding this. Bismi Allah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahman, and then here we go. Ar-Rahim, right? And then we put in the dots in the same way. Bismi. Let's see. Do I want a circle? No, I don't want a circle. So Bismi Allahi Ar-Rahman. Whoop. Nope. There you go. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. 2 dots here. The question is, do I want to do straight dots or do I want to do a circle? So Bismi Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. That looks kind of weird. Then we have all of the Fatha Dhamma Kasra. Bismi. So we have Allahi Ar-Rahman. So Fatha Ar-Rahmani. Ar-Rahimi. Right, and then we have all of the connects here. Bismillah Ar-Rahman. Here, Ar-Rahman. Rahman. Actually, there's no. Why did I put a line on top of the? No, that's a line on top of the Meem. So this is meant for that. Ar-Rahmani, and then Ar-Rahimi, because that. Anyway, you get the idea. To my eyes, the thin line looks better because of the sharpness and the whatever iPad's got going for it with relation to however bright their screens are. But here, the thick letters definitely look fancier, or rather, if anything, if that's the right term. I don't know if it's the right term, but it looks better in terms of, I guess, visual aspect. Now, with relation to, let's see here, if I were to change that black aspect, like that factor right there, because right now without it, it's actually really bright, can't even see, but I can change that to, let's say, close, boom. So now whatever I write is actually a lot clearer. So if I'm going to do any kind of instruction, or if anybody else is using this technique, this technique, if that would be the appropriate example, if they are doing so, then this would be the way to do it. So I don't have to worry about putting up any kind of black drop or anything like that. I can just darken that side of the screen, so this way whatever we bring forth looks better. Now, if I were to say disable that, and then I would open up, say, Quran.com. So where is Chrome? If I go here, and then we go to the Noble Quran, right? And then let's say we bring up Surah Al-Fatiha, and I go into reading mode, and I re-enable that. So what I'm going to have to do is go to filters, turn off the color correction, and we are actually, no, not the color correction, turn off the LUT, and then there we go, close. And now if I enable, there we go. And now if I were to bring up Surah Al-Fatiha, for example, and I wanted to, I can also adjust where and how this is showing up on my screen. So if I wanted to go, say, hide some of those edges, I absolutely could. And so this way, if I wanted to, what's happening here? Okay. So if I do that, all right, so we've got the interaction, the interactive part. Now, one of the things I think that would definitely help is if I were to get whatever I'm seeing here on my monitor, and I were to bring it right here onto a teleprompter monitor, confidence monitor screen thing. They sell one of those. It's a few $100. I'm thinking about buying one just for myself to be able to kind of do this. And let's see here. Now, if I go into, say, translation mode, I can, there we go. I can even put the names and stuff as such. Now, if I wanted that thing to appear a little bit more over, I definitely could do that. So this way, whatever is in the center is actually over here. So we got Bismillah ar-Rahmani ar-Rahimi. I just got to make sure it's in the center of the screen. I can't forget to do that. Otherwise, it's going to look weird. And then I can move this forward. Alhamdu lillahi rabbi al-alameen. And if we wanted to do this Nurani Qaida style, we can do ar-Rahmani. Ra fatha ra, mim fatha ma, noon kasra nin. Ar-Rahmani. But anyway, I'm wondering, I know my wife had the Nurani Qaida app here, but I don't know if I can, let me see if I can find it. Let's see, if I were to, let me just bring this up and find, let me pause recording. Okay, so she doesn't have the app itself installed on the phone, so I just went ahead and downloaded a PDF. So that's what this looks like. So if somebody wanted to, I guess, do the app in some way, this would be the way, I guess. Although I do prefer personally the touch, and you get the reaction. I think one thing we could put in our timeline is to recreate the Qaida Nuraniya app, but format it in a way that's a lot more aesthetically pleasing than this. And maybe we don't call it Qaida Nuraniya, take the same idea, but put together a series of instructionals and turn it into a little free course or something like that. I don't know. Just an idea. So, but if we were to do something like that, we could do something where it's like, all right, here guys, follow along. Wa fatha wa, sin fatha sa, qa fatha qa, wa saqa. I feel like I'm back in front of my mom going over this stuff. But anyway, just wanted to showcase the fact that we can do this, as well as using the Doodle app on the, it's not Doodle, it's actually called Freeform. So just a correction on my part. Now the thing is, I guess it's just whenever I'm doing one of these, I guess, recording sessions, I just need to ensure that I'm dialed in with relation to my settings. So just going between like the app and writing, like now I'm back here. To make that, go back into blending mode, let's go to screen. Also go to filters, and I need to apply my LUT lookup table, which is a thing that allows me to adjust my camera settings, turn on my background, and then at the same time, let's remove some of those. Oh, hold on, because it's in portrait mode. There we go. Now we're business. I kind of it actually looked kind of cool if I were to make myself blurry, where if let's see, turn off the autofocus on my camera, right? And then I would essentially focus away. Now it just kind of looks like we're focused on an artificial screen of sort. Now, what would be really cool is if I could focus on on myself or whoever it is presenting, and then the text itself, whatever is being presented, goes blurry. So if we go to filters, is there an option to add that kind of effect? Let's see, there's a sharpen effect. Is there a decrease? No, there's no decreasing the sharpness in this. Brightness, saturation, opacity. Yeah, so there's no blur effect, at least within OBS Studio with the app as it is right now. So yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you found this of benefit, something that we could definitely incorporate. I think it's just a matter of setting, being able to do this with this, um, sitting down in this posture, in this position is not the ideal situation. And so probably would have to raise my desk. I got a standing desk. I mean, this thing can go up and down with an old fashioned, you can't see it, but it's a crank that I got to turn, whereas my wife's desk is more press of a button and it goes up. But yeah, that's something to maybe test out at a later point. But yeah, this was me doing just a quick screen test with what it would look like with relation to writing.